I depend on you.
To give me love when I need it. Right on time, you would always be.
All my friends call me a fool.
They say, let
The woman take care of you.
So I try to be hip and think like the crowd. But even the crowd can't help me now.
Whoa, oh, girl,
Tell me
what am I supposed to do?
I know I've got a guilty face. Girl, I feel so out of place.
Oh, girl, yeah, yeah.
Don't know where to go, who to see it.
Welcome to episode 27 of the Sunday Punch podcast. No Sean today. Said he was going out of town. Didn't tell me where. You know, if you've listened to the last podcast, sometimes Sean does Sean things. He's probably, you know what Sean's probably doing? He probably met a girl like 2 weeks ago and is now meeting her entire family. And then in 3 weeks, when she gets attached, he'll be like, what is up with this girl? She's stage 5 clinger. Hello. But that's what Sean does. So I'm doing a solo episode today. Our buddy Steve, if you watched any of the last podcast, he actually texted me at 5 a.m. this morning and was like, hey, man, I can't sleep. You want to do a cast? And I said, yeah, sure. But I texted him at around 8 a.m. And, you know, when I texted him, didn't hear back for a couple hours. I'm like, yeah, he fell back asleep. So I'm going forward. I'm moving forward with a solo Adam episode. Hopefully everyone likes it. Maybe it'll be shorter than the rest. Who knows? But episode 27. 27 was my football number back in the day, back on the old stomping grounds. And let's get it out of the way. As you can see, if you're watching, and if you followed my Instagram, I've been a little bitch about it, but I hurt my shoulder. So what happened was, and it was all my idea. I can't put any blame on anyone else. It was all my idea. We went out. I was in Pittsburgh. It was the last day. We were reminiscing on some old times of playing football in the past. And then what happened was I said, hey, fellas, hey, guys, let's go out and play a game of football, toss the old pigskin around. And they're like, okay. So we went out to this amazing field in Pittsburgh. I can't remember the name, but we were doing some routes, started with the quick slants. Then you did a couple button hooks. But then, of course, I worked my way up to the go route, the Randy Moss go route. And I felt pretty good because my buddy Travis was guarding me, and he also had his shoulder hurt. So, of course, I took advantage, and I just blazed by him like a gazelle. And the ball perfectly placed by my buddy Chris. I caught it. Running full speed as fast as I possibly could as a 31-year-old man, looking like Gronk out there, barely making it, but still giving it my best effort. I caught the ball, and I'm going full speed, and I thought to myself in a split second, this is what fine-tuned athletes do. Okay, dude? I thought in a split second, okay, I could run this out for 25 more yards, or, and I've done it a million times, I could just kind of barrel roll to the ground, and then that'll stop my momentum, and I'll get going. I'll pop back up. The crowd will go wild, obviously, and we'll do another go route. I was feeling myself by then, but I don't know what happened because I dove into the ground. I must have hit a divot or something. Someone was out there shanking golf balls because I hit the ground on my left shoulder. And my God, did it. Immediately my arm went limp. It was excruciating pain. Didn't fumble the ball though. I'm not gonna lie, didn't fumble the ball. I went right through the reception. It would have been a catch in a normal NFL game. And then after I realized my arm was probably broken, then I gave the ball up. Let's get a first down going. Let's keep the drive going. Pump some steroids into me. I'll be back in. But I then rolled up my sleeve, and it looked like my shoulder blade was jutting out of my body, and I looked at my buddy Travis, who finally had caught up. It took him a while because I had just blown him away, just like a gazelle taking off. So finally he catches up, and I roll my sleeve up, and he saw the protrusion coming out of my shoulder, and he said, "Oh, you need to go to the hospital." And I was like, "Oh no," because I had a flight later that night, and I was like, "I can't go to the hospital." So I looked at my buddy Chris. I'm like, "Dude, can you pop this back in?" Whatever. He's like, well, let's take a look at what it is. And so he called his buddy, who's a sports medicine doctor. He FaceTimed him in. He put me through a little bit of a gambit of tests, and I could move my arm laterally this way or that way. And he said, "Looks like you just tore some ligaments in your AC joint. You need to just give it rest for 6 weeks. That's all they're going to say. You don't need to go to the hospital at all." And then luckily, because my buddy Travis just had the same injury snowboarding, he had a sling in his car. So, I guess it's good that I was playing with doctors, and there's a sling available, and they brought out ibuprofen and Tylenol. And, I got everything I would have gotten in a hospital, but on the football field. So what really sucks about it, though, is, well, first of all, just putting this shirt on. I have a sleeveless shirt on because I put on this other like Hawaiian shirt, and the Hawaiian with the hat I'm wearing was just too much. Plus, I have like gained some weight in the last week just because I'm not working out anymore. It was excruciating pain just to put on a t-shirt. So I hope in the next 5 weeks this gets better, because I didn't realize how much I missed the gym. I used to come back from work and be like, "Here we go. Gotta go to the gym, I guess." But now I'm just like, oh my God, please, for the love of God, let me get back in the gym at some point. I'm hoping like 2 weeks I can then just like get back in there. And you know what? I'm actually gonna give it a try after this podcast. I'm gonna go down there, and I'm gonna get the legs juiced. Maybe I'll see a nice lady in there. She'll feel sympathy for my arm, and she'll say, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I'm an injured soul. Can you heal me?" And she'll say, "Yes. Do you live here?" And I'll say, "Yes. 30 flights up." And she says, "Well, let me come and just make sure you're okay." Maybe that'll be the situation that happens after the podcast. Who knows? Okay. But I'm going to go down there and see if I can do a little bit of legs. And then I don't want to work on my arms, because I don't want to have like one giant arm and then one withered arm like some freak. So maybe I can get some abs in or something. But, you live and you learn. I'm 31. I hate to say it out loud, but I'm not 25 anymore. I can't be doing barrel rolls into the hard ground. My shoulder won't take it. But apparently this injury happens to all the quarterbacks. So when they get sacked and drilled in, I think it happened to Trubisky, actually. They get drilled into the ground, and then the AC joint tears ligaments. And then, at the time when Trubisky had it, I was like, "Oh, come on, dude, get back in." But I realize now that was impossible. And even though it was his left shoulder like mine, you can't go back in. Just any movement. You don't know what the movement's going to be either. So now I have to sleep like I'm Dracula, and just like on my back, like with my arms crossed, which is a great experience, by the way. If you really want to get 6 hours of sleep in a week, sleep like you're in a coffin like Dracula, and you'll get that. But you live and you learn. I don't know, man. I wanted to go away. We're at week 1 now. Well, tomorrow will be at week 1. It happened on a Sunday, and whatever. Maybe I'll just start podcasting more. Switch from once a week to like 2-3 times a week. Something to keep me, motivated and thinking. And because what I have been doing, I'll tell you what I have been doing is I've just been watching The Sopranos. No sports. I don't. It's like a little. I think I'm having a little bit of like PTSD. I can't watch sports because I'm worried someone's gonna pop their shoulder. Plus, the Bulls suck right now anyway. They can't get it together. So I've been watching a lot of The Sopranos, which is that intro song that you heard. That was when Tony was driving to his politician friend was dating his former Gumar, and a Gumar is a basically just like someone you have on the side. Apparently, it's common in Italian in the mob, or maybe even Italy. Who knows? But you get your wife and you get someone on the side. But then his ex, someone on the side, starts dating someone he's politically connected to. So he's got to go whip him with a belt, as you do. Got to get a good belt whipping in every so often. And he drives over there. But while he's driving over there, he's listening to, "Oh, girl, I'll be in trouble if you left me now. 'Cause I don't know where to look for love. I just know somehow. Oh, girl, why did you let me down? You used to be my side chick, and now I got a pistol whip your guy." You can tell I miss karaoke tremendously. You would think having all these doctor friends that I could get a vaccine at some point in time in the next century, but apparently not. Even Sean, the co-host, he texts me, "Hey man, you want the Johnson & Johnson vaccine?" I said, "Yeah, definitely." And then I get to his place to do the podcast. He's like, "Actually, it's only 80% effective. You probably want to get the..." I don't care. I don't care about full effectiveness. What do I got to go to Indiana? Make a trip to everybody wants to make their trip to Indiana to get their vaccine. I don't have time to do that shit. My arm hurts. Sean, you're listening to this. Give me that goddamn Johnson & Johnson vaccine. I want one dose. Then they can give me my scarlet letter of a V on my chest, and I can start going places again and start doing karaoke. Did you just hear the beautiful voice? "Oh, girl, I'll be in trouble if you left me now." God, when is karaoke going to be back? Apparently never in Chicago. Maybe you could get one of those private rooms like what's that place? We went to it one time. It's usually like Asian places. You get your own private room, but then you only get to perform in front of your friends, and I do that every day. So I like to, I go in, I don't need a drink. I'll go straight to the karaoke stage, and I'll get a song on. My go-to song is Four Non Blondes' "What's Up." If you don't know what that is, it's... wow, I'm totally blanking on the song. Oh, no, I got it now. And I said, "Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah." I said, "Yeah, what's going on?" That one brings down the house every time. So, who knows when that'll be back. I'm hoping Chicago summer is going to be wild. No, Mac. We're not looking for wild girls. We're looking for girls gone wild. It's important to watch the process. So I'm hoping for a wild Chicago summer. We'll see if it happens. It feels like it's happening. I went out for brunch the other day, and we sat outside, had a few beers. A lot of people were out, bringing the dogs out. So it seems like a normal situation. So hopefully, people start getting their vaccine, and we can start going out again. And then I think the last thing will be karaoke, because when I go to a karaoke bar, everybody shows up. People are like, "Oh, this guy, you should hear Roll Out by Ludacris, by this guy. I know you haven't heard that song in 10 years, but this guy has it, man." Oh, shout out. I want to give a shout out. DMX passed away at age 50. Breaking, I know Sunday Punch is breaking this news, but I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty sad. I was pretty sad because it reminded me of my childhood. That's how I like how people DMX reminds me of my childhood. He's like literally singing about murder and like drug deals, and you're like, oh, childhood. But I just you go to a party in high school. There's always just a DMX song on. Even then, I think it was even past his prime, but it was so good that it transcended, and you could go anywhere and you could still hear, the Rough Riders anthem. And I mean, DMX was a legend, so I was pretty sad. I was not as sad as when Michael Jackson died, but pretty sad. And definitely not as sad as when Mac Miller died, but that's life. You live it. Sometimes people die. Sometimes people get whacked, just like in The Sopranos. The Sopranos, let's go back to that for a second. So I really, really like the show, right? And I thought I had watched The Sopranos about a decade ago, but apparently I didn't, because I'm like watching it again and I'm like, I don't know what the hell is going to go on. I'm in season 4 and I'm still like, it's all brand new. So I'm excited because I've been looking for a new show since Mad Men. Good tie-in here is that the Mad Men, the Mad Men head writer, Matthew Weiner, I said Weiner, was the head writer for Mad Men, the creator of Mad Men. And I see a lot of similarities between the two. In fact, I would just call The Sopranos Italian Mad Men. Let's get that trending on Twitter. The Sopranos is Italian Mad Men, or just hashtag Italian Mad Men. And because outside of the murder and the extreme violence of just pistol whipping someone, a lot of the themes are the same. Struggling with life, depression, trying to find happiness in affairs, trying to find happiness in alcohol and drugs. And it's a great show. I don't know if I'd rank it there with the... Well, let's go ahead here. I'm going to do my top 30 shows here. I'm going to go with Mad Men, obviously. Even watching The Sopranos, unless something crazy happens in season 5 and 6, I'll go Mad Men first. Then I'll follow it up with The Wire, because, family has roots in Baltimore. Watched it. Thought it was really good. There really is no protagonist in The Wire. Mad Men has Don Draper. Sopranos has Tony Soprano. McNulty's in The Wire, but it's like sometimes he goes like full episodes without even like being in any scenes, so he can't be the protagonist. I guess maybe the city of Baltimore is the protagonist in The Wire. Let me ponder that while I puff on my Juul. Yeah, I think the city of Baltimore is the protagonist in The Wire. So that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go Mad Men, The Wire. Actually, I got to move Sopranos down. Breaking Bad. And then I'll put The Sopranos. I'll put Sopranos at 4. So, I mean, I should probably round up 5. I mean, who does a top 4 list? What am I, BuzzFeed over here? 5 is... Shit. Now I'm just going to, choose a random show that's not even that great just because I just want to round out the 5. Let's go with... Oh, man, a lot of shows are rolling through my head right now. It's hard to rank them, I guess I'm doing dramas, so let's do dramas. I don't know. After that, it's such a cliff, such a drop-off. I like Ozarks. Is that just recency bias? Am I just remembering that because I just watched it? I liked House of Cards, season 1 and 2, but then it kind of gets weird, and then Kevin Spacey, apparently, touched a 12-year-old or something, so... I don't know. I just don't know. Fuck it. Let's go with Ozarks. I'm going Ozarks number 5. But, highly recommend. Watch Mad Men. Has humor. Has dark violence. Has introspection. Even a mobster is struggling with... I guess, I always thought, Mad Men, Don Draper's the best character, but it's Don Draper's really just dealing with his own darkness that he's brought upon himself because he didn't have parents and his mom was a hooker or something. But, to have the threat of death over your head at all times, like Tony Soprano, my God, I definitely couldn't deal with it. I mean, I can't even deal with a little torn AC joint. It's going to get better in 6 weeks. Tony Soprano's dealing with like demons upon demons of wax upon wax of, you got to kill your friends. Hello? It's a tough job. By the way, does the mob even exist? I feel like it had to, right? Well, it definitely did exist, but to the extent of what they do is like, I guess it did, right? I mean, it's not that hard. You go in, you get someone for gambling, drug addiction, right? So they're weak. And then you say, you're going to pay me this or this happens to you, right? So they're not afraid to kill. And when you have that, then it's like, what else are you going to do? I mean, call the cops. Like, the cops are in the mob's pocket. So, what are you going to do? Nothing. Man. Another hit off the jewel. And then let's transition here. So we're on to episode 27. Football number was 27. Big news in the NFL coming out. People can change their jersey numbers, and there doesn't have to be really any conformity. I thought it was a genius business move by the NFL. NFL is just like, how can we get them to change their numbers but make it seem like we're just doing it for fun? But in actuality, we just want people to buy more jerseys. So Stefan Diggs has 14. He'll probably go to 1. There you go. There's a bunch of jerseys sold. Which I think would be a dope number for him. Stefan Diggs wore number 1 at Maryland and in high school. And, I was a former wide receiver. I don't know how I got away with 27. I mean, they were just throwing jerseys at me, right? Like, when you're in high school and you're not actually good at sports, they're just like, we got number 27 ready here. And they, like, throw it in and land on my head, draped on my head. And then I had, like, the shoulder pads that were 1,000 times too big. When you're good at sports, you get the nice fitted shoulder pads. You get the fitted jersey. Me, I'm out there looking like a ghost running around. So I guess that's how I got 27. I've always been a fan just because it's been in my life forever. But Randy Moss, 84. 84, solid number. All the 80s, really. But if you could get number 1, it's a pretty dope number. Number 1's a pretty dope number. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if any of the Bears, who cares, right? The Bears. What is Andy Dalton going to change his number? No one's buying that jersey anyway. So the Bears, is there any Bears news? Again, I've been watching Sopranos. I've been watching anything, but I thought I heard through the grapevine that Anthony Miller was going to get traded for like an offensive lineman on the Ravens, which I'd be fine with. We missed out on the Kenny Galladay sweepstakes. Duh. Kenny Galladay's like, yeah, your quarterback's bad when Kenny Galladay's like, yeah, I'll take my chances with Daniel Jones. Yeah, thanks. No, I'm good. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, no, you don't even have to offer a number. I'm not playing with Andy Dalton. Is there I still think, but it's been silent, and the Bears are tweeting all of these different things of like Andy Dalton, QB1. It's like, am I missing something? Am I in the Matrix? Is there going to be like some swift move that Ryan Pace makes where he actually does get Russell Wilson? I don't know. Guy loves paying mediocre quarterbacks millions of dollars, by the way. But I don't know. I'm still in full favor of the Deshaun Watson sweep. Let's sweep in. You got a problem on your hands. Look, I know I'm sounding like a fucking jerk right now because Deshaun Watson, look, 22's, yeah, I keep saying the number keeps rising on every podcast. I'm like, at first it was like 11's a big number. And then I was like, hey, 15's a big number. And then I was like 19. And now it's 22. It's like, it's kind of like where there's smoke, there's fire, dude. Like, I don't think 20, why isn't this happening to everybody then? If this is like singling you out, like, why don't they single out every quarterback? Like, it doesn't look good from my YouTube Wikipedia research and me reading the articles and all of the girls having a consistent story and then making them feel very uncomfortable and pressuring them into sex. But let's sweep that off the table. I'm talking football here, okay? Ryan Pace. You could go in, you could say, you got a problem. You don't know if he's going to jail. You don't know Nike dropped him as a sponsor. We'll give you, well, you don't even have to offer a lot. We'll give you this and that and a box of peanuts. And I feel like Houston has to be like thinking about it, right? You got a problem, child. And he didn't want to be there to begin with. It's like, if you're Houston, are you using this as leverage to keep him there forever? Or are you going to use it as, although if you're Houston, you got to be thinking, fuck, why didn't we trade him when he wanted to, when he had all that value? So I guess at this point, Houston's like, well, we got to keep him because we can't get anything for him. But I guess I think of like, it's just a headache, right? A headache that the Bears need. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. It is weird timing. But maybe, hey, let's look at this from the opposite end, conspiracy theory-wise. Maybe Deshaun knew this was like coming down the pipe. Most of the masseuse, what's the plural of masseuses? Is it just masseuse? Whatever. Most of the ladies that rub people for money are from the Houston area. So maybe Deshaun was kind of thinking, yo, I got to get out of this place because there's a storm a brewing and I need to leave. But he just didn't get there quick enough. So the Bears are going to have major problems. Let's look at this from a glass half full perspective, Bears fans. By that point in time, the NFL's already come out and said we expect full fans in the stadiums. Maybe we can get some cheap Bears tickets. Probably not. I mean, they're the Bears. The tickets are whatever the tickets are. But if they really suck, right, later in the year, you can get some tickets for cheap. Take the wife out, take the girlfriend out, take the Gumar out, Now that we're all on the same page, take the side chick out, bring her to a Bears game. You're not going to see anybody there that knows your wife or your girlfriend. Get the Gumar out of the apartment. Make her feel special. She doesn't know what the tickets cost. She's just like, oh, yeah, these are major tickets. And she doesn't know who Andy Dalton is. You can be like, Andy Dalton, pretty good quarterback. I can't believe they're not doing well this year. She has a good time. Get her the popcorn. Get her the soda. Call over the beer guy. Get her a little loosened up. I don't know where I'm going with it. I just like that cadence that I was going with. With Gator Muhammad Jihad. But I guess that would be a glass half full kind of thing. I'm hoping that I can get from my ad agency. We went to the box for the Chicago Bears, and that's the best experience. You crack a window, you get the cool air in, they got free booze, they got free food, you get a rep there who might be high on coke, he's going a little crazy, he's talking a mile a minute, but you're making good connections. So maybe I can get some good some Bears box tickets. Everybody who's listening, Chris, Travis, who else? Sean, obviously, the co-host of Sunday Punch. Adam. Let's just list them off here. Mike Parker, Maggie Parker. Oh, they'll be gone by then. God damn it. I'm losing everybody in Chicago, by the way. I'm going to have me, my buddy Patrick, his wife Kate, who's also a great friend of mine. Damn, is that it? Well, no, I'll still have Ian here. My buddy Steve. I need to start making connections with the kind of the outside group, right? The people that are staying here, I need to start making connections with. That would be what the 48 Laws of Power would tell me. So I need to start hitting up Ian, Steve more. Plus, they're cool guys to hang out with. I should hang out with these people more. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm in Pittsburgh, drilling my arm into the ground. Good decision, Adam. Go to Pittsburgh. Jump straight into the ground like a fucking ostrich head. What was I talking about? The Bears? Oh, yeah. So maybe I can get some box tickets. bring some people. I wish so. When I first went, took Sean and Fred, and that was just a great time. We just had a blast. So, I'm always excited for football season. So whatever. The Bears are digging their own grave. Ryan Pace seemingly just wants to get fired. Whatever. So that's in the future. What's now is the Chicago Bulls, and they haven't been doing shit, and I haven't been watching. I watched every game. Then for some reason, I went to Pittsburgh. I stopped watching them. I lost a bet on UCLA to Gonzaga to a half-court shot, and then that put me in a funk. Then I drilled my shoulder into the ground like an ostrich head, and then I've just been kind of, a little bit depressed. So I'm watching, so what do you watch when you're depressed? Italian, I'm just going to call them Italian madmen killing people. That'll really uplift the spirits. And so I haven't been watching any Bulls. I'll tell you one game I did watch, though, was the Phoenix Suns versus Clippers game. That was on today's Saturday. That was on Thursday. And I know Phoenix lost, but I got to tell you, I really, really like Phoenix. And I'm pretty sure they're still number one in the West. I could be wrong. Again, haven't been watching, but Phoenix is like a perfect basketball team. And let me explain why. Because when I was watching that, I was like, wow, they have a lot of young bloods who are super athletic with the perfect mix of veterans that have the grit to do the little things. So I can't remember the whole team, but I'm just going to go with the guys that stood out to me while I was watching. DeAndre Ayton, good player. Now, I guess if you're a Suns fan, you're probably thinking, we could have had Luka Doncic, damn it, which is a valid concern. But my next player here, Chris Paul, is there. And I think Chris Paul, if you're just kind of like me, living in the present, not thinking of the future at all, Chris Paul is better for the Suns now than Luka would have been. Oh, man, people's heads are going to explode. But I think Chris Paul is better for the Suns right now this year than Luka would have been drafting him. And Chris Paul sets up DeAndre Ayton a bunch. Although, to be honest, DeAndre Ayton's a monster, but it seems like he always just lays the ball in. If I was 7 feet tall, I would never not dunk. That's right. I hit you with the old double negative. I would never not dunk. I dunk every time. And then he even had I think it was the first points of the game. I didn't know he had this in his game. DeAndre Ayton faced up, shot the ball. I mean, an elbow shot, made it, swished it. I was like, I didn't know DeAndre Ayton had that in the game. I stopped watching DeAndre Ayton when he was on Arizona and fucked my entire NCAA tournament bracket up. But apparently he's been working on his game. So you got him, you got Chris Paul. Obviously, Devin Booker is now like in that in-between, like right in his prime. That guy never misses. Then you got Jay Crowder, the wily vet playing defense. I got to say, and they got a couple of young pieces. I can't remember their names right now, but when I was watching the game, like these other guys were making shots, looked athletic, reminded me of like Kyle Kuzma when he was on the Lakers initially. And they were playing a good Clippers team, and they lost. But I just like the vibe of the team, like watching the basketball team play. I mean, dude, but the Clippers, again, I'm saying the Phoenix Suns are this good because I think when the Clippers get into the playoffs again, Paul George can't be trusted in the playoffs. Paul George was hitting every shot in that Phoenix game on Thursday night. That ain't going to happen in the playoffs. And I think it's a thing now, right? People, if Twitter didn't exist and social media didn't exist, I think Paul George could get over it, but I don't know. And he's got some mental issues as well. So he's the kind of personality that lets things dwell. They still got Kawhi. Kawhi had Kawhi turn back the clock in the third quarter. Look up the highlights of the Phoenix Suns Clippers game because Kawhi turned back the clock and dunked the shit out of it. I mean, he looked like Blake Griffin back in the day. Sorry, jewel break. Speaking of Blake Griffin, and I'm going to get back to the Suns Clippers because that could be the matchup for the finals, to be honest. I need to look at the rankings and see where they would meet, but not the NBA finals, the conference finals. And that would be a very, very interesting series. But let's get back to Blake Griffin, and then I'll come back to Phoenix real quick because I want to talk about a little bit more about Chris Paul. Can we stop with the Blake Griffin? Like, every time that guy dunks it now, do I have to see a highlight of that? I mean, he's in the NBA. He can dunk. He won a dunk contest. Why is it now that he's off Detroit, which he forced his way off, took all their money, forced his way off Detroit, and now he's on Brooklyn where he gets wide open pass to the basket. He, like, uses his mechanical body to jump like the 3 feet that it requires him to dunk it. Suddenly, Bleacher Report, Sports Center, Barstool, Blake Griffin turns back the time. It's like, he dunked a ball. He's pasta. He's toast. He's done. Well done. He's over. Blake Griffin does nothing, adds nothing for the Nets. Nothing. Him, LaMarcus Aldridge add nothing for the Nets. So it's going to be Kyrie, Kevin, James. That's going to win him the championship. Another James Harden, another guy in the playoffs. Who knows? He's really blossomed in Brooklyn. I got to give it to him. He looks, I mean, he's the point guard. He's distributing. He's, talk about turning back the clock. He looks like a team player. You know, he still doesn't play shit on defense, but looks really good. So let's stop with the Blake Griffin highlights. I don't care, okay? Blake Griffin's pasta. He's toast. But let's get back to Chris Paul real quick. That guy's a freak. I mean, Chris Paul is an absolute alien. I mean, you watch Chris Paul play, and you're like, I remember watching him on the Hornets. Like, this is like 15 years ago. This guy's still killing it. And that timeline might be wrong, but it felt like 15 years ago. And he's still killing it. He has this inside-out dribble move that's unstoppable. He takes it from the top of the key. He goes in straight. He goes inside with the dribble. Then dribbles it back out. Same hands. So goes in interior leg, then exterior leg, then does the James Harden drop back for a shot. And to me, I glance up and down from the games, but to me, he looks like he makes it every time. So that move's unstoppable. Then you get Ayton involved. So then you start doing that move, the inside-out dribble, and people start overcommitting, trying to anticipate it. Then it's an easy interior to Ayton, who can, he doesn't dunk it apparently, but he can get the job done. And then once that's happening, you got Booker on the outside who can kill it with the three. I'm not gonna lie. You should probably here comes another Adam prediction. You should probably bet on the Phoenix Suns to win the championship. Now, if this is who would I say then? The Clippers aren't going to win, right? So I would, in reverse psychology, you should probably bet on the Clippers just because I don't think they have a chance at winning, and I just guaranteed that the Suns would win. And I know nothing, obviously. I mean, I picked UCLA. I mean, that was a crazy bet because the odds were nonsense. So that was fun to watch. But then my brother texts me and he says, hey, who should I bet in this Gonzaga-Baylor game? And I was like, I don't know. UCLA made all of their shots and Gonzaga still won. I'd bet Gonzaga. And of course, Gonzaga gets blown out by the NFL football team that is the Baylor. What are they? I don't even know what their mascot is. The Baylor Are they the Baylor basketball team yet? Did they have some sort of racist logo? I want to say Bears. Is that right? The Baylor Honey Bears. I got my phone on me. Let me look it up. Hold on. This would be the moment in time that Sean would fill in with some sort of fun fact, or Sean would just talk about nothing, but his voice is so smooth that you're just like, well, he seems like he knows what he's talking about. Okay, so Baylor basketball, Baylor University. They are the Baylor Bears men's basketball team. Welcome to Waco, Texas. Don't watch that Netflix documentary, Waco. It was a hit piece. Private, nonprofit. Yeah, okay. Love that. Love these universities being nonprofit. Meanwhile, they're just funneling. I'll bet you that's a mob organization right there. Well, actually, it kind of was a mob organization, just not without the killing. I watched that documentary about how people were paying to get into colleges, and then they would have their faces photoshopped on athletes, and then they would pay off the athletic directors or the coaches to just like have a spot on the team, and then just say, "Oh, it didn't work out, but apparently you still get your scholarship." So that's the universities. I'm Baylor. I'm nonprofit. Don't look in the safe. Don't hit the mic. Sorry for that. Don't look in the piggy bank. It's a nonprofit here at our university. The basketball team does not contribute anything profit-wise. No, not here, not at Baylor. I also like how they're using... I'm caught on now. Whenever I see a news story, I think, what's the opposite angle? And then that's what I believe, because I saw some on ESPN saying that if we start paying men's sports, then the women's sports will be eliminated because that pays for all of the women's sports, which to me sounds logical, right? You start paying the players, you can't support all the other sports, including women. But wouldn't that be the PR piece that you'd release if you knew you could, but we're just thinking, wait, what's a logical way we could explain this to not pay players? Oh, we can use the women's sports to say they would have to be eliminated, so that way people won't get mad when we don't pay the players. Figure it out. That's what I have to say. Figure it out. You can pay players and pay for women's sports. Jesus Christ. Bunch of slave owners like, oh, I don't know, we can't do this if we do that. A lot of that money goes back into the education of the children. No. Stop buying 14 Starbucks for the men's program, and then you can put that into the women's program. I'm oversimplifying it, but they know. They can figure it out. I can't discuss this because I need more people here to discuss the complexities, and I'm sure Sean would have some good points. And, if Steve came over today, I would discuss it further, but I'm not going to do it. But I will say, I bet you it's a PR hit job. We can't pay women. We can't have women's sports if we pay men athletics. No, I don't believe you. Could never convince me. I don't believe you. So there you go. But what I will say towards women's sports is this whole... I saw someone post this on Facebook the other day. It almost got me. It almost infuriated me enough to comment. This girl I know, won't mention a name, posted on her Facebook, and she had Sue Bird versus LeBron James. And she had LeBron James 4 championships. Average annual salary, $38.5 million. Sue Bird, 4 championships. Average salary, $200,000 a year. And then it was like some stupid line like, and you don't see the problem with this? So I don't get too angry and destroy my shoulder again, I'm going to say this calmly. If no one watches your sport, then advertisers don't pay as much to advertise on the channels. So therefore, they have less money to give GMs, to give coaches, to give players. There's no cabal of people saying, wait a second, we have all this money, but we can get away with not paying Sue Bird because we're evil. They don't bring in the revenue that the NBA brings in. Nobody wants to watch. Sue Bird's a great player. Diana Taurasi's a great player. If you're a basketball junkie like me, I can get into watching them because, first of all, they play it fundamentally right. Some of the moves that they're doing, like the James Harden step back, some of the girls can do that now. But the fact of the matter remains, no one's watching because the casual fan likes to watch LeBron take off from the free throw line and jam it over someone. And they can't fathom a person like LeBron. He's 6'10", 250. You're watching monsters play. I mean, it's an attraction. It's an entertainment attraction. You can get your head around the women playing. You can just get your head around it. You're like, well, they don't look like Space Jam characters, so what? I like it from a basketball standpoint, but I'm not amazed by it. I'm not shocked by Diana Taurasi with a steal or a step back three. It's just, for me, it just doesn't do the same thing. And I wish it did. And I wish they did get paid the same. I wish a lot of people watched all. But, you only have so much time. And so you got to pick your sports. You're like me. I haven't watched any baseball. I'm not a baseball guy. I'm gonna watch today. I'm gonna go over to my buddy Patrick's and watch the Cubs. But for me, not a baseball guy, right? So I like NBA, I like NFL, I like college basketball, and it's like I only got so much time. I can't watch that and then watch the women's because I gotta watch the UFC fight tonight. And by the way, it's a different sport, but the UFC women are exciting because they would knock me the fuck out. I mean, they're big. So they have that attraction. They have that entertainment value of, wow, I've never seen a human like that. And, Amanda Nunes does things that the men can't do. She goes in there and she knocks out people in like 30 seconds. It's amazing to watch. She's an amazing fighter. I haven't seen anything that equals that in women's basketball. So if no one's watching, then you can't pay anyone because the higher-ups aren't getting paid as much. There's no conspiracy. Anyway, that's as far as I'm going to go on that. I will say that soccer, I do agree with them. I need to look at the numbers and the TV numbers, but to me, there's no difference between the men's soccer team and the women's soccer team. Sorry. In fact, the women are better. They're better at soccer. So they should get paid the same. I don't know what the numbers are on that. I know Megan Rapinoe is making major strides in that, and she got into a thing with Draymond Green. I don't know what happened there. Draymond was probably talking out of his ass per usual, and she was just like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. And then, I don't know. I made it halfway through a Draymond Green ramble, and he was like, the thing is, I'm on their side, but the thing is, I got to do this, and the thing is that they didn't understand my tweet, and the thing is, it's like, dude, shut up. Draymond Green likes to fancy himself some sort of philosopher, and he's a complete dumbass, and sucks at basketball, by the way. If you got to call yourself the best defender of all time, you probably aren't. You know what the best do? They don't need to call themselves the best of all time. They don't. I mean, come on, dude. Rodman, way better than you. Rodman, way better than you, Draymond. Fuck, Joakim Noah's better than Draymond. Yeah, I said it. I've never seen an MVP chant for Draymond at the free throw line like I saw for Joakim Noah. Piece of shit. Hate that guy. But that's my point on that. I don't think there's a cabal of people. It sucks. But, no one's watching WNBA. And I don't know how you change that other than I have no idea how you change it. It just doesn't amaze me. like the NBA or college basketball does. Just doesn't amaze me. They look on the court, and I know this isn't true. I know they'd all kick my ass in basketball, but when you watch it from that angle from afar, every guy thinks I could probably play in this league. You watch the NBA and college basketball, you're like, these guys are fucking monsters. They're like 6'11". I could never play with them. But the male ego is such that you can watch from an angle the WNBA, and you're like, wow, that, when Brittany Greer was in there, well, she's huge. She can dunk a ball, but the rest of them, I could probably play. And it's not fair that we say that, but that's the reason that the ratings aren't up, if you want to know the truth. So, I don't know. And then Serena Williams, I want to get paid the same. You play one less set in the finals. Play one more set like the men. Or have the men. Well, that wouldn't make any sense because you want the extra advertising dollars from the extra set that the men have to play. The women, they've met on it multiple times. The women don't want to play 3 sets, so you don't get paid the same as men. Sorry. Everybody watches Serena. Everybody knows that. But if you don't play the amount of sets, to me, it's like you work less, you get less money. God, am I going to get crucified off this podcast, by the way? I think I'm being very fair, but, you never know nowadays. All right, what else did I want to talk about before I head out here? Let me just check my notes real quick. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Oh, God. Sorry, I hit the mic again. What are you going to do? So, I want to end here with... Wait, what minute mark are we at? Oh, damn. I'm really been going here. I'm on 52 minutes. All right, we'll end with this. I watched... oh, for fuck's sake. I just tweaked my arm. I watched Godzilla vs. King Kong. It was fun. Let's just put it out. It was a fun movie. Let me do a Jewel hit real quick. While I think about what I'm going to say about Godzilla vs. King Kong. It was a fun movie, but I just really enjoyed a few aspects of it. And let me just get my notes just so I hit all of them. Okay. So, Godzilla vs. King Kong. Godzilla attacks, first of all, this, I guess it's a base. And I don't want, if I'm going to clip this and I'm going to do Godzilla vs. King Kong reaction, I don't want to get, I don't know the backstories. I don't know I don't even know the other movies. I don't know if there's comic books. I don't know. It strikes me as something that could be, I could get a lot of backlash for not knowing what the hell I'm talking about with the background or the history of Godzilla and King Kong. So just to preface, I don't know anything. The only other thing I've seen is the one Godzilla movie with Matthew Broderick, which sucked. And then I did watch the King Kong movie with Jack Black, which I thought was really good. But I've talked to people since then, and they said it wasn't that good. So maybe I need to rewatch that King Kong. But I remember at the time, it was a long movie, but I remember at the time, I was like, damn, this movie's really good because I love the scene when they're in the pit and there's those giant bugs attacking them. I thought that was one of the best scenes I've ever seen. So... Preface, I don't know any of the background. I'm not a Godzilla nerd. I'm not a King Kong nerd. So I'm just kind of shooting this from the hip. So, Godzilla, it starts off, Godzilla destroys, I guess, this base. Because it turns out Godzilla was trying to hit I think this is what was happening. Again, I was drifting in and out. But... I think he was trying to hit the base because they were trying to create another Godzilla, the military was, so that they wouldn't have to rely on Godzilla, which is, to me, a logical solution. It's like, what are you going to rely on a giant lizard for the rest of your life? First of all, it can't be controlled. I mean, it is a 70-story lizard, right? So it's not I don't know the background. Could they control Godzilla? Could they give him a call and be like, Mothra, Mothra's on the Godzilla. Can you go take care of this giant moth? So Godzilla was trying to destroy that base because they were trying to make another robotic Godzilla or some sort of Godzilla replacement. And it's like, how the hell did Godzilla find out about this base? Like, what was it that, like, someone tipping off? Is there a rat in the military base, like, tipping off Godzilla? Is Godzilla getting like ESPN updates, but for military bases? I don't know what's going on, but he tried to destroy that base. And so then all the people, since you can't talk to a giant lizard, were like, Godzilla's turned on us. What happened? What happened? And so then the first solution is, oh, well, obviously we need to release a giant monkey. I mean, obviously we have to go get that giant ape that we know about and just release him on the city and see what happens. Because what could possibly go wrong in that scenario? So that's basically what they do. I mean, the guy flies to wherever King Kong is, and he convinces the King Kong expert, which you would assume is a primate expert or was a former, lived with the chimps or something kind of lady. He literally like walks in, says, we need King Kong, in so many words says, we need King Kong to take care of Godzilla. And she's like, what? No, that's it. That's unethical. And he's like, no, but really. And she was just like immediately like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So then they strap King Kong to a boat. First of all, if you want someone to do something for you, you probably shouldn't treat him like a complete, well, let's just call it what it is, a slave. So they strap him on to this boat, and the little girl, who apparently has a relationship with Godzilla somehow. I wasn't paying attention to the details, okay? But this little girl goes out in the rain. They keep the giant monkey in the rain, by the way. It's pouring rain. They could give a fuck about the monkey. They're like, let him sit out there in his chains. Yeah, he needs to do us a favor. Let him sit out there in his chains in the rain. So then the girl goes out, and it turns out that she can do sign language, and that Kong understands the sign language, which shocks everyone, which is hilarious because it's like, wait, aren't you like the ape expert? Like, why are you shocked that he can do sign language? Like, it's a pretty common thing that if I know this shit, then the monkey expert should know this shit. Like, the first scene when she goes up to King Kong, I'm like, I wonder if like they could sign together, because she like shows him a doll, and I'm like, that was the first thought I had. So the King Kong monkey expert is like blown away by the fact that the kid can talk to the monkey in sign language, right? So then, I mean, there's an epic battle of Godzilla attacking all of the boats and shit. Basically, King Kong gets his ass whooped. But I give him that one because he was chained. It took a lot of energy to get out of the chains. Then he's in the water. That's not his vibe, right? And so, Godzilla basically wins that one. They shut off all the engines, which apparently, like, tricks Godzilla. Godzilla's, like, can clearly see King Kong still, like, laying on, like, one of the ships, but I don't know. Godzilla's like, all the ships are done. All the ships are off. Well, I guess I killed them. Let me swim away. It's like, okay, whatever. And then, apparently bullets don't have any effect on Godzilla either, or King Kong for that matter, which was also surprising because he's just a monkey. Like, if he gets hit with a bullet, he doesn't have, like, armored skin. But whatever, moving on. I don't want to be that person that is questioning every single thing in, like, obviously an action movie. Like, you got to suspend the imagination. Like, my buddy who I'm going over to right now to watch the Cubs game, I told him about a movie and it was good. I forget what it was called, but it's about an Airbnb, and then there's a killer that uses Airbnbs to stalk people and kill them, right? That's the basic premise. So the first scene is basically them driving from one state to either further in the state or another state or whatever. And they get there and it's like still, they leave in the light and they get there and it's like still light. So then my buddy Patrick is like, the whole movie is ruined for him because he's like, if you're traveling from here to there, and he like knew the exact distance, he's like, it would be dark by the time you got there. And I was like, that's what's affecting your enjoyment of this movie? That's so stupid. So I'm letting go of that King Kong can't be hurt by bullets, right? So then I fall asleep, right? And then I wake up, and what's the next note I wanted to get here? Oh, yeah. So I wake up and there's another fight. So basically King Kong's getting his ass whooped the entire movie, which is to be expected because, Godzilla has laser eyes and he can shoot a laser beam out of his mouth. Lasers. And King Kong gets his ass whooped, but there is a dope scene where King Kong pops his shoulder back in using a building, which obviously for me, I was like, well, I wonder if that's a proper strategy. But I was like, I feel you, King Kong. I feel you. And then the whole time I was watching, I wish that Godzilla, because being from Florida originally, the lizards there, they'd have this thing that popped out of their neck that would warn you. I don't know what it's called, but it was like orange, and that was like warning you, like, hey, I feel unsafe. And then they do this thing with their body where they'd like hop up and down, and that was like, oh, stay away from that lizard or whatever, because he feels unsafe. I wish Godzilla had one, like a giant one that was like bright orange. And then that way, I feel like you'd save a lot of city destruction if, like, guys, stay away from Godzilla. He's having one of his, he's having a day. He's having one of his days. He's not feeling too, he went out late. Godzilla went out late last night, had a few too many. You can see that through his giant orange thing that he's warning us about. Let's just give Godzilla the day and we'll come back. We'll talk to him, right? So I wish he had one of those. And then what was the last thing I wanted to talk about? Oh, yeah. And then there's a one point in the movie where Godzilla and King Kong like basically scream in each other's faces. And I'm going to be honest, for a moment, I thought they were going to kiss. I thought the movie was going to take another turn that I didn't expect. A romantic turn, really, where Godzilla and King Kong get together. And it's like, they're obviously both males, so I think it would have broken a lot of barriers. I heard that King Kong goes by he, him, and I heard that Godzilla goes by he, him. So it would have broken a lot of barriers, and I thought they were going to kiss for a second, but it didn't happen. And then I fell asleep, so I didn't really watch the whole thing. So I got the great reaction to Godzilla King Kong, Adam. I didn't watch it, but I woke up on certain scenes. So I think that's a solid hour episode. And I'm actually proud of myself because I didn't have any content written down. My notes say Sopranos, basketball, Suns, Godzilla versus King Kong, and then I have those questions listed out. And then that's basically it. So I'm pretty stoked that I was able to do this, just kind of winging it. I hope everyone enjoyed. I'm going to try and get... so, sorry to... I was supposed to do this. So Sean did Sean things, canceled. So then I had to cancel. I was supposed to have this guy, Tim Cerniglia, on. Really funny dude, on Instagram, posts a lot of TikToks and really funny videos. So I'm excited to get him on the cast. Steve, the New York Giants connoisseur, I'm excited to get him back on the cast. I'm still trying to get Ian on the cast, but I don't know. I think he got angry about one of the first episodes when I gave him shit for not showing up, and I hit the mic again, but, I'm sorry I did that. Ian doesn't listen to these, but maybe he can get through the grapevine. I'm sorry I did that. I still want you on the show, brother, but he has a girlfriend now, so he's basically dead. I mean, let's be honest. There's certain guys that get girlfriends, you never see them again. And I think Ian might be one of those guys. So it was fun while it lasted. That's all I got to say. And I also want to so my buddy Fred is coming into town April 30th. Really cool guy from California. he'll have some interesting perspectives. Obviously, we need to get Dirty Mike back on in the next few weeks. And for baseball, actually, specifically, I'm working with this guy. What's his Instagram name? Do I have my... I got my phone. Let me look this up real quick because it's kind of important to me that I shout him out, because I definitely want to meet up with this guy. He has his own podcast, and he knows a lot about baseball, so I'm stoked about that. What's this guy's name? Twiddle. Oh, here we go. On Instagram, he's Mr. Tweedles, but his thing is Sheffield Shuffler. He posts a lot of funny videos too. He has a t-shirt thing, which has like really good t-shirts of Chicago sports. So I want to give him a shout out. I want to do live outside of Wrigley podcasts. So I'm ordering up a bunch of lav mics and boom mics and shit like that. My whole apartment's just going to be freaking video equipment soon enough. But I want to get him on the cast. And hey, man, if anyone's listening still and wants to come on, hit me up. I'm trying to do more of these. So, yeah. So a lot on the agenda. We're going out to a guy that's really, really, really good at rap. And his name is... God, I got to look everything up today. I think the medication's having an effect on me. I only feel good with the pain pills, man. His name is... And I'll go with it right now. His name is... Damn, where'd he go? Let me look it up. Stay with me for the last part here. Don't lose out. You can still do it. I definitely looked him up on Spotify already. So I'll go. Let me work my way to Spotify. It's important. It's the Go Out song. His name is And I Repeat. Did I lose internet or something? What's happening? Oh, so this guy's name is Uno Hype. I hit him up on Instagram because I saw one of his songs. I don't know how. He's got 163,000 monthly listeners and 30,000 Instagram followers. Damn. The song we're going out on is called Color Me, and it's by Uno Hype again. Look him up on Instagram, Uno Hype, and also follow him on Spotify. We haven't been doing rap as of late. I'm glad we got back to some rap roots here. So check him out. He's really good. And thanks for listening. We'll be back next week, episode 28. Peace.
It's a fire in the hills, ashes on my soul. They gon' watch it burn, they gon' watch it burn slow. Color me, color me, color me, color me. Blackout, it's a blackout. Unchained and we back out. Feel like the savior to many. My people, my struggle, your soul feeling empty. I've been at it since a young nigga. This me venting, I ain't done with it. Still the culture, then they run with it. Self-hatred made y'all complacent. Pay attention what you put your faith in. Dollar bills with no black faces. Just black suits and some court cases. Black fathers get thrown in cages. Go to war for an education. TV screens to manipulating. Because of color, all I saw was hatred. I ain't mad, I'm just frustrated. It's a fire in the hills, ashes on my soul. They gon' watch it burn, they gon' watch it burn slow. Color me, color me, color me, color me. It's a fire in the hills, ashes on my soul. They gon' watch it burn, they gon' watch it burn slow. Color me, color me, color me, color me. If your sisters and your brothers up, spread love, then we coming up. First, let me talk about it all. Hung nooses, then we cut them off. This whole world like a jigsaw. You don't even love yourself, brother. You don't even wanna help, brothers. What that say about you? What it say about the system we living in? The money he making is minimum. The government wanna get rid of him, so they gonna paint him as criminal. These politicians be so cynical. I could read them through their interviews. Try to paint us evil through the news. Fuck CNN, fuck ABC, fuck Fox News, fuck them all. Truth be told, they wanna kill us off. Black man falling to the law. You never catch me with the devil dancing. Past life, I was Fred Hampton. Now I'm feeling like I'm Huey Newton. If they try me, I'ma die shooting. Black God in the wrong nation. Take a bullet for our liberation. Said I'm woke and that I'm too abrasive. Dollar bills through a fucking rapist. Power be the only thing you chasing. My people, only thing I'm saving. Glowing up, I'm illuminating. Eliminating anybody want it. The end is near, no our time's coming. It's a fire in the hills. Ashes on my soul. They gon' watch it burn, they gon' watch it burn slow. Color me, color me, color me, color me. Color me, color me, color me, color me.